Hi everyone, welcome to H&R Reptiles. My name is Ashton Riley and welcome to today's video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about something a little bit more depressing. So I'm really sorry you guys. As you can tell by the title of this video, we had somebody pass away recently. Brain, my goldfish, the one obviously that had the big brain, he passed away. So about 4 months ago, I noticed that Brain's brain was starting to droop. I got worried and I got him looked at, and he got diagnosed with a very, very, very horrible disease that only those specific type of fish get. The reason why they get it is because how they're bred. Their bred did not have that like skull cap, and they're also bred to have an enlarged brain. So this happens actually about 50% of the time. This happens with these type of goldfish. It's really sad and it's really horrible. Now see, what happens is their brains liquefy. Yes, I know it sounds really horrible, but their brains liquefy and it pops, and they lose their ability to swim because it's just really horrible. So, like I said, 4 months ago is when he first got diagnosed with this. I was keeping an eye on him. He, over the last couple months, he became a lot less active, only giving me a good response whenever I put food in his tank. So I knew that he wasn't going to make it very long. I was just planning on giving him a good life until he did pass away, because I really did love this fish. And I know it's weird for somebody to say that they love a fish, but I really, really, really love this fish. It's actually taken me a couple of days to even film about it. He passed away the 30th of last month, so it's taken me a little bit to talk about it because I had to get in a place where I wasn't going to cry throughout the entire video. Okay, now after I had found out that he had this disease and that he was not going to make it, I just kept keeping an eye on him. About 4 weeks ago, no, 3 weeks ago, he had became a lot less active. Like, he wasn't going to be there for very much longer. He would just like stare at something for like all day and just like float, and sometimes like drift down. And 2 weeks ago, his brain actually did pop. He had a hole about this big leading into his head. It was really weird because after his brain had popped, for the first like 3 days, he stared at the wall. And every day I was like, okay, he's not going to make it the next day. He's gonna die. And I was just preparing myself for that. And like, it was really weird. He would just sit there and stare for hours. We calculated it one time. He stared at the same wall for 12 hours. So it was getting really worrying, and I was debating whether or not to put him to sleep because I didn't know what to do. And then after that 3 days of him like just staring, it was weird because like he had part of a little chunk of his brain was like blocking the hole, and like he was active again. He was swimming around with the other fish, getting food, just swimming all around. I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's blocking any more from coming out. Maybe it's a good thing. I didn't know. I was really nervous and really scared because like he literally had what looked like a chunk of brain just right there. And like, I really didn't know what to do. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe he's going to be okay. Maybe he'll be fine, because he was being so active, so good. And then a couple of days later, with him being so good, he was doing so good, And then he started to do not so good. He started to start swimming and then just stop and like just sink to the bottom. Then he'd get back up and act like everything was okay. He would just like sit there. It was really weird. And then the next day he was going on his side at the bottom of the tank, but he was still alive. And it's so sad to talk about, but one of our other fish, one of our dojo loaches, Dexter, he was so closely bonded with Brain that whenever he would see Brain on the floor, well, on the bottom of the tank, he'd go over to him and swim underneath him and push him up to make him start swimming, and it would work. He was doing that for an entire day. Dexter did not want to let Brain go. And it made me even more sad and even more emotional because it was the first time that my fish have had to deal with one of their tank mates passing away. So it was a big deal. They were getting really depressed and sad. And, you know, the next day after that, I had gotten up and I went in there and checked on him, and he was laying at the bottom of the tank. I was pretty sure he was dead, so I went in there with the net and I touched him a little bit. His fins started to move. So I'm like, okay, he's alive. I don't know how long he's going to stay alive. So I went and I took a shower. By the time I got out of the shower, he had passed away. He was at the bottom of the tank in the same position he was. Now, at this point, I was crying an emotional wreck because my pet had just passed away. I know it's just a fish, but anybody that has had fish for a elongated period of time and has grown to love them will tell you that it is actually really hard to lose one. It hits really close to home. It's like, it's almost as painful as if I lost one of my dogs or like one of my lizards. It was really bad. I was really emotional. I did not want to flush him down the toilet. I felt like that was very disrespectful to him. I had had him for so long that he deserved a proper burial. So my husband went and searched everywhere to find me a little box about this big so I could put him in there. And I ended up burying him underneath a very, very pretty tree in my yard. Right underneath the tree where nothing can get at him. You know, he has a very nice little grave. I told him goodbye. It was really emotional. And, you know, after that, me and my husband decided that we're no longer going to get any more fish that are his type. Granted, we love goldfish, but that type of goldfish, it's just too hard to watch them die. It is. It's too hard. And like, we had grown this little fish since he was this big. And I don't know if you guys could tell in my video where I was showing all my pets, but he was about this big whenever he passed away. So it was really hard because we had had him for so long and we had loved him for so long. But no, I thought you guys deserved to know, you know, that he had passed away and I no longer have him. But he does have a very beautiful grave and everything's good. He did not get flushed down the toilet. He is more important than that. You know, I'm sorry that today's video was depressing, you guys. The Friday's video, I promise, will be not as depressing. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys did, make sure to give it a like, comment, and subscribe because we post new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Bye.